Hi, I'm Steven and I'm 28 years old. I come from New Orleans, Louisiana, and am a freelance digital marketer. Life threw some curveballs my way lately, which taught me that bullying can hit anyone and even dudes like me who thought they were immune. Back in the day, I was Mr. Popular, and so I never had to deal with this stuff, and so it has been a wake-up call for me, but it has also given me a shot at redemption. So I grew up in Utah, and my family wasn't that wealthy or anything growing up, but we were comfortable, and I never felt like I was missing out on anything. Plus, I always had a pretty wide circle of friends, and had no beef with anyone, so yeah, my childhood was pretty chill. Then, as I grew older, my squad thinned out, but my ambitions grew. I earned my degree in marketing management from BYU, and my college journey was intense but totally worth it. Every class I took in college has set me up with killer marketing know-how that I have been putting to good use in my career. So after college, I was dead set on diving into the marketing world and scored my first gig at this little marketing joint where I got my hands dirty on all sorts of projects for clients across the board. Talk about a learning curve, but man, I was thriving in that hustle and bustle and was soaking up all the knowledge with every challenge. As the years flew by, I kept my game tight by staying on top of the latest trends and tech in marketing. From old school ads to the newest digital wizardry, I dived deep into it all, and through working in the same field for about 4 to 5 years with hustle, heart, and a genuine love for what I did, I built up a rep as a marketing guru. After grinding it out in different marketing agencies for years, I started feeling this itch for more control over my work, and I truly wanted to work on stuff that really fired me up and in which I would have more say over when and how I did it. That is when the idea of going freelance hit me. But it was not at all a snap decision. I spent months getting ready by taking on side hustles and digging into new marketing tricks that I had never touched before. And I also worked on beefing up my online game because I knew that having a killer digital presence would be key to hooking the clients in, on my own terms. So I decided to start flexing my marketing muscles on Instagram. I used to regularly share insights, tips, and examples of my work and quickly position myself as a guru in the marketing game. And let me tell you, once people caught wind of that, the followers started to roll right in. I further engaged in content and real talk with my audience, and my following grew steadily, and I earned some serious street cred in the industry. As my online game got stronger, so did my client list, and I got hit up by businesses and individuals who loved my fresh take on marketing and liked what I had done for others. Before I knew it, I had a crew of loyal clients who trusted me to help them crush their marketing goals. Being a freelancer was the bomb. I got to pick and choose my projects and clients, all while knowing that I was making a real difference with my work, and through this hustle, grit, and smart branding moves, I built a solid gig as a freelance digital marketer and was more than happy and content. Talking about my dad, Owen, he always had my back through thick and thin. We have always been tight, and as I hustled in my marketing gig, he was my biggest fan. He never doubted me for a second and would always push me to go after what I wanted with everything I had, and when stuff got tough, he was always there to drop knowledge bombs, to keep my spirits up and remind me who I was and why I was doing this. Hey, everything okay, Steven? Yeah, just feeling a bit overwhelmed with this whole freelance thing, Dad. Sometimes I wonder if I'm making the right choice. Hey now, don't go doubting yourself. You have got the skills and the drive, son. Remember why you started this journey in the first place. Yeah, I know, but it is scary, you know? Not having that steady paycheck like before. I understand, son. Change is always a bit scary, but it's also where the magic happens. You have always had that spark in you, kiddo, and I have seen it ignite some incredible things. Trust yourself and you will do just fine. Thanks, Dad. I needed to hear that. Anytime, son. Remember, I will always be here rooting for you, no matter what path you choose. One thing that always got me right in the feels was how my dad would straight up brag about me to anyone who would listen to him. Whether it was scoring a new gig or crushing a killer campaign, he would always shout it from the rooftops, and his pride in my hustle was some serious fuel for the fire and used to push me to aim even higher every time. And believe it or not, I made it my mission to keep that pride alive. His faith was like a superpower to me because I wanted to make him proud of every move I made. Having a dad like him in my corner was a blessing I never took for granted, and so when he asked for a favor, there was no way I could say no. So one day I was finally kicking back after a long day of work, and that was when my phone started buzzing with my dad's name. Now, it was not every day he called me up at this hour, so I got curious as heck and picked up the call. Hey there, son. How's it going? Hi, Dad. Everything's good on this side. What's up? Well, I wanted to talk to you about something. You know my bud William, right? Yes, Uncle William, right? Who owns that travel agency? Yes, yes. Yeah, I remember him. What about him? Well, he is in a bit of a bind and could really use your expertise. He was looking to revamp his company's marketing strategy, and I thought you might be just the person to help him out. Oh, I see. Look, I know you are busy with your own stuff, but William is a good friend, and I would be really happy if you could lend him a hand. Absolutely, Dad. I will reach out to him and see how I can assist. Thanks for letting me know. With all honesty, it sounds like a big opportunity. Great to hear, Stephen. And I appreciate your help, son. And I know William will too. No problem, Dad. After hearing from my father, I assured him that I would be more than happy to help. After all, it was the least I could do for someone who had been a friend and supporter of my family for so many years. William and my dad go way back, like way, way back. My dad used to tell me all the stories about how they met back in college and how they bonded over their love for wild adventures. And let me tell you, they have been on some epic journeys together over the years, like hiking in the mountains, backpacking in far-off lands, and you name it. And even now, with jobs and adulting keeping them busy, they still make time to hang out, like regular fishing trips, hitting the links for some golf, and showing up at each other's family gatherings without fail. William was actually the proud owner of a travel agency which was all geared towards people who craved some adventure in their lives. His love for travel had turned into his hustle, and he had built this whole business from the ground up, and even after it all, he was the most humble person I knew. My dad had always looked up to William's zest for life. I mean, the guy did have this infectious enthusiasm for exploring new horizons, and it had rubbed off on my dad big time. So, when my dad hit me up about helping William promote his business, I couldn't say no. And the more I dug into what William's agency offered and read these insane experiences for his clients, the more I saw the potential that with just a little push, this business could really take off. Plus, you can't help but admire the dude's adventurous spirit. It was what got him to where he is today, after all. So the next day, I hit up William to set up a sit-down. We grabbed some coffee and dove into the nitty-gritty details, like his business goals, who he was trying to reach, and what he was already doing to get the word out there. And with my digital marketing background and all the gigs I had done, I was feeling pretty good about coming up with a plan to help him out. Hey William, thanks for meeting up. So what's on your mind? No problem, Stephen. I have actually been thinking about taking our travel agency to the next level, digitally speaking, as Owen must have told you. You know, reaching more people online and boosting our presence, the whole thing. Sounds perfect. I am all ears. What are you thinking? Well, I have seen what you can do with digital marketing, and I want that magic for our agency. How about you come on board full-time and lead our marketing team? I appreciate the offer, William, but I'm pretty tied up with my freelance gig currently. However, I am definitely down to help out on a contract basis. Fair enough. Let's say we work together for about 4 to 5 months, or until we see some serious growth in our digital game. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. What else did you have in mind? I was thinking, since you will be diving into our digital world, why not work part-time from our office? You can pass on your expertise to our team and teach them the ropes. That could work. How many hours are we talking? Just 3 to 4 hours a day, whenever it suits you. Plus, you can bounce whenever you want. All right, sounds like a plan. Also, can I ask for a favor? Yeah, sure. Go on. Please don't do hefty introductions on my joining and don't tell anyone about my achievements as well, okay? I would rather keep my role low-key and act like just another employee, as I don't want anyone treating me differently. Understood. Your secret is safe with me, Stephen. We will make it work. Further, William laid out his plan and I nodded along. He was all about bringing me on board full-time and asked me about it again, but I was still set on freelancing. So, we settled on a deal that I would help him out for 4 to 5 months, or until we saw some serious growth in his marketing game, as decided. Also, he totally got why I wanted to keep a low profile, plus the thought of slipping undercover into his marketing team sounded like a wild ride on its own. It was a chance to flex my skills in a whole new setting and to really make a difference in his business at the same time. And as I thought more about William's offer, I just couldn't shake the feeling that it might be just the shake-up I needed. After grinding away as a freelancer from my cozy couch for so long, the thought of going back into an office and working there started sounding kinda cool. There was something about being part of a team again, bouncing ideas around, and getting into the groove of office life that got me intrigued. As I weighed the options, it hit me that this part-time gig was actually the sweet stability that I was craving in life. And the whole scenario was perfect as it let me dip my toes back into the office scene without locking me into a 9-to-5 grind. And it came with the freedom to still do my freelance thing on the side, as usual, as I was not ready to give up the flexibility I had come to love. Then, after hashing out the details with William, we shook on it and sealed the deal. I was pretty pumped to jump into this whole new thing and was very eager to see where it would actually lead me. Little did I know that this undercover gig would kickstart a whole new chapter packed with drama. So those first days in the marketing team were filled with excitement. It had been ages since I had actually worked at a regular office, and the whole vibe of it gave me so much thrill. The whole crew at the office had given me a warm welcome, thinking I was just another social media analyst, but little did they know, I was packing some serious marketing chops. And as I settled in, I kept my eyes peeled and checked out what they were doing right and where they could step it up in their game. I also would sneakily drop hints and tips while playing the role of an eager team member. I didn't used to stick around for too long in the office. I would just clock in for about 3 to 4 hours before heading out. But in that time, I made sure to drop some knowledge bombs on the team, helping them level up their digital game, and I also used to complete any work that I had in the office. So as I got deeper into the swing of things at the office, I hit a wall that I didn't see coming, and it was also my first taste of workplace drama. And let me tell you, it came in the form of my coworker, Bruce, who was apparently Mr. Know-it-all who had a knack for talking down to others. So Bruce, along with Mark and Carl, had been giving me the stink eye for like a solid week, and I had tried brushing it off, thinking it was just in my head. But then, whenever I would throw out a suggestion, it was like they would tune me out completely, or shoot me these mind-your-own-business. Look. And then it all went down in a team brainstorming sesh when our manager, Mr. Hammer, was not around. That was when it hit me that Bruce, Mark, and Carl weren't exactly my biggest fans. I had pitched this killer idea, something I knew could really amp up our strategy, drawing on all my years in the game. But before I could even finish, Bruce had butted in with some snarky comment. So, I was thinking we could leverage social media influencers too. Oh, here we go again with another one of Steven's brilliant ideas. But this was the very first time, so I was a bit taken aback by his tone, but I tried to maintain my composure. I believe utilizing social media influencers could significantly expand our reach. Yeah, because that's worked so well for you in the past, hasn't it? Actually, yes, I have seen great success with influencer collaborations in previous campaigns. Sure you have, buddy. Just like you have seen success with everything else you touch, right? Look, I understand if you have any problem with me, Bruce, but I believe this approach. Oh, Steven, always the optimist. Do you really think anyone here takes your ideas seriously? I'm just trying to contribute to the team and save it, Steven. We all know you are just here for the free coffee and the paycheck. You don't even bother staying in the office for the whole day. I make sure to knock out all my work during my morning office hours. Plus, I have some other stuff on my plate that needs my attention. Hold it in, Steven, no one wants to hear your cries. We don't care. Bruce's words had hit like a bang, and I knew if I did not stand up to him, he would just keep pushing me like an envelope. So I fired back, but then I figured it was not worth getting dragged into this drama. After that showdown in the meeting, things got hella awkward with Bruce, and I tried brushing it off because I did not want to stir up more trouble during my short time at the office, and also because I was there to lend a hand, plain and simple. But as the days rolled on, it only got worse, as Bruce and his crew kept up with the bullying and made the workplace feel like a toxic mess. And though I am not an overly sensitive person or anything, but each jab they threw just chipped away at my confidence and sense of belonging, a bit. Bruce and his crew had this sneaky way of making me feel like I was on the outside looking in. They had straight up excluded me from important meetings and chats, and it kept me in the dark about stuff I needed to know. It was like I was stuck on the sidelines and was unable to get in on the action or help out the team. And that was not all. They had come at me with verbal jabs too, and constantly mocked my ideas and downplayed my wins whenever they got the chance. They would even spread rumors about my skills behind my back. It totally sucked, seeing it all. I was out here trying to do my thing, and they were acting like I was just some joke. And to top it off, they would sneakily mess with my work and would sabotage my projects and would steal credit for my ideas like it was no big deal. It was beyond frustrating, watching all my hard work go down the drain thanks to these so-called teammates. One day when our team was brainstorming ideas for launching our upcoming project and I had prepared a presentation to give my ideas, Bruce had butted in to mock me. "Bruce, can you please let me finish my presentation?" "Why bother, Steven? We all know your ideas are trash anyway." "I worked hard on this project, Bruce. I would appreciate it if you could show some respect." "Respect? Hey, you haven't earned it, buddy." "That's not fair, Bruce. I deserve the same respect as anyone else on this team." "Oh, cry me a river, Steven. You are just a joke, and everyone knows it." And this other time, he rounded me up in the break room. Well, if it isn't our resident marketing genius." "Hey, Bruce, how's it going?" "Oh, same old, just trying to clean up the messes left behind by some people's brilliant ideas. Look, if you have feedback on the project." "Feedback? More like damage control. It's a wonder anyone takes you seriously around here." "I'm just doing my best to contribute to the team and—" "Your best? Please spare me. We all know you're just riding on the coattails of others' hard work." "That's not fair, Bruce. I'm here to." "To what?" "Waste everyone's time with your half-baked ideas. Do us all a favor and stick to making coffee." And these were just a few of the incidents. I was straight up ignoring Bruce and his little sidekicks, mostly because of William and not wanting to start any drama. But ignoring them only pumped up Bruce's ego even more, and he probably thought he could just stomp all over me, so he started getting even more out of hand. So one day I was just chilling by myself in the cafeteria and was soaking in a rare moment of peace during lunch break because it had been a crazy morning, and so I was all unwinding a bit before diving back into the grind. I was deep in my own world when out of nowhere, I heard these laughs cut in through the quiet, and as I glanced up, bam, there was Bruce with his little pals, looming over my table like a storm cloud. Well, look who we have here. It's Mr. 9 to 12 p.m., himself trying to play office worker. I tried to ignore them and continued with my lunch. "Hey, what's with the sad lunch, Steven? Don't tell me this is your mom's special recipe again." I again stayed quiet, because I didn't want to engage in any sort of drama. But just then Bruce snatched my lunch and threw it in the trash, while Mark and Carl just stood there laughing. "Oops, my bad. Looks like you won't be needing that anymore." "Seriously, Bruce? What's your problem?" "Problem? Oh, no problem at all. Just showing you where you belong, and that is in the trash with your pathetic ideas and excuses for work. And also want to let you know that cafeteria privileges are for real workers, not uneducated slackers." After Bruce had chucked my plate, his buddies busted out laughing like it was the funniest thing they had ever seen. Meanwhile, everyone else in the cafeteria just looked away, like they didn't want to get involved or stand up to these jerks. And that was the most messed up thing about this place. It had been days and nobody had said a word against these bullies, and it had truly got me wondering about the whole work vibe around here. I could feel the rage building up inside me, but I knew blowing up would not solve anything. So, I decided it was time to show them what happens when you mess with the wrong guy. That was the last straw for me, and I was done playing nice. Now Bruce, along with his pals, was going to pay for what he did, no matter what. I'd had enough of trying to keep the peace, and it was now time to set things straight. With a deep breath, I stood up and kept my cool despite their taunts. I ignored their jeers and walked away from the table, refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing me lose my cool. It was time to take action. And as I was storming out of the cafeteria, my mind was already cooking up a plan for payback. I whipped out my phone and dialed up the company's HQ, or just William's office line, and after a quick hold, I got through to his secretary and told her it was urgent. She passed the word to William, and the next thing I knew, I was getting patched straight through to him. "Hi, William, it's Steven. I need to talk to you about something pretty serious." "Oh, Steven, what's up?" "Is everything okay?" "Not really. I have been dealing with some serious bullying crap at the office, and I can't let it slide anymore." "Bullying? What do you mean?" "There is this guy in our team, Bruce, who along with his crew, Mark and Carl, have been making my life hell, man. They are mocking me, sabotaging my work, and just straight up harassing me." "Damn, I had no idea. Why didn't you say something sooner?" "I tried to handle it on my own. But it has gotten out of control. I can't let them keep treating me like this." "Absolutely not. That's not okay, Steven. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. Let's sort this out." "Appreciate it, William. I just can't take it anymore." "I hear you, Steven. We'll put a stop to this nonsense, I promise. Thanks, man. It means a lot. I spilled the whole bullying saga to William, and he listened to everything intently and then straight up promised to get to the bottom of it. He said he would launch a full-on investigation and lay down the law on whoever was behind the crap. After that, he thanked me for speaking up and told me to hit him up if I needed anything else. I thanked him back and hung up feeling a bit relieved. Later on, William hit me up again and said he had HR on the case and they were going to dig deep, talk to witnesses, and go over any evidence they could find. He said that it might take a bit of time, but he was dead set on making things right. And he also apologized big time for what I had been through while helping him out at his company. In the days that dragged by, I was on edge waiting for updates and was wondering what moves the company would make after my complaint. Then, finally, William had hit me up with the news that the company had wrapped up their investigation, and he also asked me if I was cool with meeting up face-to-face with Bruce and his crew. I was all in. I wasn't about to back down now, especially not after William had my back all this time, and the reason I had kept quiet before was because of him. Anyway, just hearing about the meeting made me feel validated because it meant they were taking this seriously. Then a few days later, we all got called into this meeting, me, Bruce, Mark, and Carl. William and the HR manager were there too. It was the first time I had seen Bruce and the others since the whole mess went down, as I had been avoiding them to not cause any more trouble, and let's just say, they did not look too thrilled. Their faces were like a mix of confusion and fear all rolled into one, completely white. The meeting then kicked off with William and the HR manager welcoming us into the conference room and setting the stage for some real talk. They laid out why we were there and made it clear that what I had brought up was no joke. The HR then asked me to narrate their behavior and also gave those guys a chance to speak up too, if they had anything to say for themselves. All right, Steven, we're here to hear your side of the story. Tell us what's been going on. Well, it all started when... Hold up, Steven. Can I just say something real quick? Go ahead, Mark. Look, I just want to say this whole thing is blown way out of proportion. Steven's just being overly sensitive, you know. The point here is to let Steven speak first, all right? So if everyone could just chill for a second and let him finish before we start jumping to conclusions. So, as I was saying, Bruce and his crew have been... Come on, Steven, lighten up. We were just messing around. It's not like we meant anything by it. Let Steven finish, Bruce. After HR's warning, no one butted in and I narrated everything that had been going on for the past month. This behavior is unacceptable, and it stops now. We take allegations of bullying very seriously here, and you guys should beware now as we have gathered the news of your bullying from other employees too. Bruce, Mark, Carl, do you have anything to say for yourselves? I didn't realize it was that serious. I'm sorry, Steven. We are sorry too. Once they finished apologizing, William was steaming mad and he dropped the bomb that I wasn't just some newbie employee but a digital marketing whiz brought in to help their team. When they heard it, their jaws practically hit the floor, and they went from shock to downright pale like they had seen a ghost or something. But they didn't dare say a word about it. Guess the truth had hit them harder than they had expected. Bruce and his crew got busted big time for their bullying antics, and it turns out, I wasn't the only one dealing with their crap. Other coworkers had been putting up with it too. They just hadn't spoken up because they were scared of what might happen. But once I took that first step, they all got the power to follow up. On the other hand, William was totally pissed. He couldn't believe this kind of stuff was going down in his company, so he wasted no time calling for action. First up, Bruce and his buddies got hit with formal reprimands from the company. That stuff went straight into their personnel files, giving them a serious warning that their bullying wasn't going to fly. On top of everything else, Bruce and his crew suffered big time. Their salaries were suspended for 3 whole months, and as if that wasn't enough, they got put on the no promotion list. That meant no climbing the company ladder anytime soon, and that was all thanks to their crappy behavior. And that's not all. They had to swallow their pride and dish out some formal apologies to me and anyone else they had been messing with. Plus, they had to make things right for any harm they had caused. It was a tough lesson for them to learn, but hopefully it would make them think twice next time. So, after all that drama, everyone in the office started giving Bruce and his crew the stink eye, and to top it off, they got cut off from all the sweet perks they used to enjoy. But the best part was that they never bothered me again for the rest of my time there and kept their distance, but shot me nasty looks from afar. I knew they would never really change their snobby attitude or give a real apology, but seeing them get what was coming to them gave me some serious satisfaction. Now they would think twice before pulling that crap again, and that was my ultimate revenge.